inspired. I'm inspired.
Hey there guys, how's it going? My name is Sumit Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Today I want to speak to you and tell you, how do you know when you're dealing with a manipulator, a liar, an energy vampire? Okay, that rhymed for a reason. The first thing you want to notice is they're installing self-doubt and guilt in you. They're making you feel bad about yourself. They're taking away your belief in yourself. They're teaching you, consciously or unconsciously, not to believe in yourself, not to follow your dreams, not to follow your goals. They're swaying you away from the track that you know that you're meant to go in. And they do this, they make you feel bad, specifically because you are easier to manipulate when you are hyper-reactive, triggered, and emotional. Okay? When you are very reactive, you're much more easier to control and manipulate. Just know that. Okay, this is where self-regulation practices like CBT and philosophies like Stoicism really comes into practice, so that you're able to actually distance yourself from the drama outside of you. It's an external event that is happening outside of you, but you choose to respond to it internally. So first know that. Okay? Stand on your own 2 feet. Another thing you will notice is that they will abuse your kindness and your empathy. Okay? They're going to abuse your kindness and your empathy. You know when they say to take kindness for weakness, those are the people who take kindness for weakness, and they know that, and so you might be a very giving person, but they take advantage of that. They're in that taking mentality. Take, 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 take. Never give, give, give. So you might be noticing like, okay, I give everything to this person. Why am I not getting anything from them? Right? Why am I not getting anything from them? Like every time that I talk to them, I just feel bad afterwards. Okay? Likely you're dealing with one of these people. Oftentimes these people will spread rumors and gossip. Okay? This is what is controlling their own perception in their eyes, like they're a good person because they're spilling the tea on you, right? I want to be an honest and ethical person, and so I'm speaking out bad about this person, but they don't even know that, right? It's a rumor. It's gossip. They're spreading lies. And so a liar will spread lies. It just makes sense, right? Logically, that makes sense. So they're going to spread rumors about you. They're going to have a smear campaign against you. Right? They're going to try and take you away from your track. Whatever your dreams, your goals, your ambitions are, they're going to take you away from that. They're going to move you in the opposite direction of that. So whenever you notice that happening, you can be very sure that, okay, this person is trying to manipulate me. They're a liar. They're trying to get me to go a particular direction. This is a person who is a Debbie Downer, a negative person. You could even say misery loves company, so they are hanging around other people who are then, validating their beliefs in that. Yeah, the world is a crappy place. It's a harsh place, and everybody it's an echo chamber, right? So they're following all of these dark conspiracy theories and like going down that rabbit hole of, if you stare in the abyss too long, it's going to stare back. So if you were actually focusing on that, that is what is growing inside of you. So negativity needs to be acknowledged so we can avoid it. Because that's an indicator that you're not going towards the right direction. Okay, negativity, if you want to call it that, is just an indicator that you're not moving in the right direction of your life. It's just like a road sign. Right, saying this way is closed, but you still keep moving forward. You ignore the signs. So always don't ignore the signs. Okay? You will notice a magnetic pull away from your goals and your dreams when you are in contact with these people. Other thing is they like to play the victim and they like to blame others. They might even go so far as to fake injuries or, fake like they're sick or whatever. Just anything to feel like, oh, they're the ones. Oh, poor you. They want that. They actually thrive off of that energy. Oh, poor you. They want the pity party. Of course, I want to say that we've all been there, right? We've all been in this state. So that's how I can speak from this state, because we've all, probably felt miserable, and we feel like a lot of self-pity and guilt and shame and avoidance and darkness and, you know, our shadows coming up and like getting into arguments and fights with people. We've been there. So if you can understand that, you understand that there's certain people who are in that self-sabotaging loop, that they are their own worst enemy and they keep themselves there over and over and over again. So if you end up attaching to that loop, you're going to be in that Ferris wheel. The other thing to notice is if they're lying to you, they're going to be responding from stress. So what are the indicators of stress? Fight or flight. They'll want to run away from the situation, or they want to fight you and be super aggressive. Okay, they're accessing fight or flight. Now, of course, they might have been through some kind of trauma or some kind of event that makes them feel that way, or a certain trigger that makes them feel that way. Of course, these aren't hard and fast rules, but it's just one thing that to note that interrogators do look for these signs of fight or flight. You know, you're fidgeting with your hands, you're looking away, you're kind of touching your face all over, right? These are micro expressions and things that people can scope out people. You will notice a decrease in salivation, so they want to drink water more, right? They constantly be having a drink in there, and I don't know if that's the case. Like, oh, hey, he's drinking a water bottle. He must be lying. No, that's not always the case, but just notice these little signs, right? I'm just giving you the list of cues that you can look for, right? A change in the pitch or the pace of their talking. Of course, it's not great to be in monotone all the time either, but if you notice someone going, hey, their voice breaks, it becomes kind of like teenager, raspy. This isn't the true case all the time, but you'll notice a lot of cartoons depict this, a lot of shows depict this, that when people are lying, their voice goes really high, or their voice goes really low, or there's a change in the general tonality of the way that they're speaking. That's why people are disingenuous when they're saying, oh, hey, I haven't met you in so long, hey. And they're fake, right? They're being fake because they're putting on a fake voice that's high and who's super hyper and elated. Their pace changes. They have a specific pace of speaking, and they go super fast, or they go super slow. Abrupt changes. Notice the very abrupt changes or Freudian slips. Okay, Freudian slips, like for instance, someone is struggling with their money, they would say, I didn't take my bills. I mean pills. You get what I'm saying? Contradiction, contradicting things that they're saying with a lot of frequency. So they're doing this more than once or twice or just once in a blue moon, right? They're contradicting everything that they've said before. Like they're hypocrites in a sense. There's a lot of hypocrisy associated with that, okay? So they're saying something, but then they go against what they're saying. And then they say something else. You can't take their word for what it is, right? That's what a liar generally is. Pathological lying is that they're lying all the time. And they've built their whole life around a lie. Okay, they built their whole personality and identity around the lie, so it's very difficult for them to actually step out of that because their whole ego is created from the lie. I mentioned this in my book TPM, but eye positioning is really important. Now this is an overly simplistic model, and I'll tell you why, because a lot of people, they have opposite, they're left-handed, right-handed. Some people also, have a habit of looking a particular direction when they're thinking, so this is not always the rule. However, generally when people look to the right, they're lying because it's the creative side of the brain. One could make that logical leap. This is a general rule where if you're looking towards the right, it's like your creative side, right? And so you're trying to fabricate something. You're going into the world of your imagination to try and think of something. So generally when people are talking to you and they look to the right and to the left, left is facts, right? So they're going towards the facts of the memory rather than the imagination of like making something up right now. Okay. So that's a general rule. That's just something that you can use in conversation. Sense the emotions that are generated by somebody's presence near you. Their proximity makes you feel something. What is the general feeling that you get around them? Now, there are times people tell us things that are the truth and actually genuinely want to help us, and they can trigger us in those moments too, right? Get the general vibe and not the one vibe or that one event that you had with them once where they made you feel bad, right? It's not one-time thing. It's not a one-time thing. It's like every single time that you're in their presence, you feel something is off. And generally highly empathetic or intuitive people, empaths, they can sense this right away. And so they generally like to be by themselves because they notice that people's vibes are generally off or not in concordance with their own or not in tunement, not in their frequency. And so You know, that's tough. That's really tough. I've dealt with that a lot. Like, you just notice you walk into a coffee shop and someone's having a conversation next to you, and generally you just feel like, oh, what the? That's triggering me, right? That's something to work through in ourselves. However, it's also generally important to notice that when people are going into that particular, like, you know, fakeness, niceness, kind of lying their way, manipulating their way to get to the top, they lack empathy, and so they can fake empathy. Are you manipulating someone, or are you getting your own needs met? You know what I mean? Like, sometimes we just are truly allowing ourselves to not manipulate, but just, you know, get our own way in a certain way, and so we use persuasion. Like, that's different, right? You're using maybe NLP techniques to get more influence and impact others. That's different to, like, cold-hearted manipulation, like, you know, Mr. Burns style in the background with a bunch of puppet strings. It's very, very different. So you got to notice the psychosis level of, like, serial killer to the level of, like, someone who's just trying to, you know, get more likes on Instagram or something, right? So you gotta know that spectrum really well, right? You don't want to just push someone away who's just simply, they just need acceptance, right? Try to interpret the feelings that you get from a person's voice. How does their voice make you feel? The voice is incredibly important. Notice a very, very attractive Disney princess speaking like a witch. Hey there, Prince Charming. It's like, whoa, what the? Okay, you're hot, but what is that voice? Right, what is that voice? We've always noticed as people, the voice is so important, the sound is so important. So really pay attention to your own voice and how you sound, but also pay attention to other people's voice. How much truth and freedom are they speaking with? Right, what is their level of emotion? What is their level of logic? Are they saying intelligent things? You know, dumb has a sound to it. I'm going to be honest with you. Notice that. Dumb has a, hey there guys. Right? When we do that as an exaggeration, it is a stereotype. But it's a sound. Okay? Be aware of the sound. There's a sound to a lie. Look at the sound. There's a sound to manipulation. Look for the sound. Look for the frequency, the vibration, the sound of that other person. It's going to tell you a lot. Overall, you want to focus on overall vibes. Good vibes, which is constructive. Bad vibes, which is destructive. Okay? Easy way to see it. And also just generally notice that if you give them a high five or a hug or a handshake, you feel something different. It's like, oh, that didn't feel right. Okay, that was weird. Right? That feeling also, generally get an idea for people's vibes, okay? In an environment where it's a positive environment, you know, everyone's getting along, are they bringing the whole group down, or are they bringing you down, you know? Just notice that. It's very clear, it's more obvious than not. You know, you don't have to be like Sherlock Holmes to decipher this thing. A lot of the times it'll be very clear when a person is not a good vibe to be around. So I hope this video helped you out today. Thank you for the person who asked. Have an amazing day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. See you next time.